Travis and Warder. We are presented by Wilson and also our good friends over at Firefly, helping us recover when we're on the road. Today we have a solid episode. We got some Hawaiians on the show. We have the Crabb brothers here in the studio.
How's it, boys?
How's it?
What's up?
Good to be here.
Oh yeah. We're high above the Manhattan Beach Pier. You guys like our new studio? Waves are good today.
I don't think that joke is ever going to get old.
Yeah.
Speaking of Manhattan
me,
Pier, all three of us have gotten this close to getting on it.
Let's get right into it.
3 points.
Wow, that was a good segue, Trev.
Oh,
Yeah, we've
A little taste. I'll have a little taste of it.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm having to taste this Corona. Nothing but Manhattan Beach Open for me.
Yeah, we last
at least
three?
we lost the Phil and
Yeah.
okay,
Who'd
we
you
lost
lose?
to Jake and Casey.
Hey, I lost to Phil as well. Sorry, I was in it twice.
Damn it.
Last 4 years in a row. Now that I mention it.
Yeah.
First,
Him, me,
I
you.
lost to Nick and Phil, and then I lost to Jake and Casey. They got lucky. Little miscue at the end there. Sure won. And then Trevor lost to Phil and Nick, and then Bug lost to Phil and Nick. So much of freaking, what do you call it? The skater lady who took out her opponents. I'm going to do that to Phil. What was her name?
I'm trying to
You know what I'm
think.
talking about?
What movie?
I don't
Come on,
know.
Sports reporter.
Well, I'm trying to. The description wasn't the greatest.
Ice
The skater
skater
lady who took out her
What was
opponent.
her name? There was a movie made about her.
Oh, it was a real
Oh,
thing.
Tanya
that
Harding.
happened?
Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
Something really
Tanya
happened.
Harding, Phil.
Yeah.
Just joking, people. It's not a real thing. Anyway, way to start it on a depressing note, right?
So we all three of you guys are going for the Olympics. You two together, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then Taylor, I guess you and Jake have been on the quieter side of what your plans are. So I guess what's your schedule looking like for this upcoming year?
Yeah, I guess it's a bummer that Fort Lauderdale got canceled, obviously, but we're going to go to Sydney and skip Qatar. We just thought no need to do that trip right off the bat. Especially Jake was nursing, wasn't an injury, but just getting his knee healthy for the full coming year.
Yeah.
But yeah, once April hits, we'll do that hold. I think it's a 12-week stretch where it's back to back every weekend.
That's nuts.
Yeah, we're all going to be fairly sick of each other by then. Partners.
I'm just going to be hanging out with Bentley. It's just be me and Bentley.
You just hang out with the same people all the time. Traveling without sleep. It's kind of a shit show.
Yeah. What AVPs are you guys going to be able to do? Do you know?
We're for sure doing New York and Chicago and Hawaii and
Hopefully Manhattan.
Are y'all gone for Huntington too?
Oh, and Huntington. So that's our
Right,
fifth.
so 5 of the 8. That's
So
not
those,
bad.
and then most likely Manhattan is the fifth one.
Okay.
Manhattan's over a 4-star, but I think everyone's going to try to... We should all just make a pact.
Yeah.
That way no one can jump an Olympic. Of course, like, Kalinsky and them
Yeah.
are going to go anyway. But
And if all four of us go to Moscow, then someone's
gonna say
gonna
names.
get their name on the pier. That
yeah, that's true.
shit, alright, I don't know.
That's a good point.
So that's why we got hall play.
Rosie was just talking about how excited he is that Hermosa is conflicting with a 4-star
Tokyo.
or
Yeah.
Tokyo that is mandatory.
Yeah.
So Rosie was like, "All right, let's check
Yeah.
that one off now."
I hope he wins it.
Yeah, I actually will for sure be cheering for Rosie.
He's the only, definitely the only guy I would be okay with winning an AVP.
You
Well,
don't want
we're not
someone
there.
that has never won
Yeah.
before to win Hermosa.
Dude, right off the bat.
Like how Taylor did. No, that was your second. Right? Second?
Well, at least I beat Trevor in the finals.
Oh, that's true.
You beat Rosie.
That's right.
Speaking of Rosie.
That's good.
It is funny to see because, like, I feel like most people who don't know you don't understand that, like, when you talk trash, it's not like you and Staff are like friends, like you and Rosie are friends. And, like, I feel like people think that people take it way more seriously, and obviously a couple of them do.
It's like a disorder.
Yeah.
Trevor doesn't know how to talk without talking.
It's a disorder.
This is how I communicate.
Oh yeah, definitely some of the there's a lot of guys out there that can't take it, and it's actually like a mental strength to have or to not have. Definitely, I think brings you down as an athlete. If you look at all the good athletes, they all trash talk a little bit.
Imagine how much Taylor had to deal with growing up, being younger. You little shit.
We all call them that. You did too.
That's true. I didn't have a younger brother, so I had to jump in on that a little bit.
I had 5 guys just calling me little shit the whole life.
Yeah. You're welcome.
People wonder why you're so quiet.
You, dude. Yeah. Training you.
I feel like on some level though that like probably helped you a ton in the long run. Just like because I feel like I think it's like scientifically proven that like that the youngest of siblings is almost always the best because you're always playing against people who are older, bigger, and better. Yeah, and you turn out. No offense, Trev.
Definitely in my group.
Definitely offended.
Like
no, it's definitely offending. Offensive.
I'm right here.
But in my core group of friends that I grew up with, I was actually the only volleyball player. So the guys that I did play volleyball with were all older than me. So I know it's a blessing, and I loved it, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah. And then do these guys still give you crap, or are you past it now?
They try to, but
we try.
I'm climbing the ranks, so
yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
But I haven't been out there the last 2 years, so that's my excuse.
And now, I mean, with you two, obviously you're sitting on the same couch, and clearly you don't like entirely hate each other. What was it like when you were playing together? Because I feel like there was some actual like real animosity there, but I feel like also some of it might have been a little WWE, Instagram trash talk too. WWE, I don't know what like the line was when you guys were playing
man, those
together.
guys are real athletes. So be careful what you say.
I mean, high, tight leather boots and a Speedo. It's a freaking athlete right there.
But when you guys were playing together, I mean, what was like the relationship like, and how has it grown to like where you guys are now?
It seems like it's always hard to play with a brother. Like all the other guys on tour in the past, like those Swiss brothers that like apparently like almost killed each other.
Oh yeah.
And like would quit matches, and obviously you guys didn't do that.
Yeah.
How was it? McKibbins friggin' have a little difficulty with that.
Well, I mean, it's every partnership. Like the longer you're with someone,
that's true.
The more stuff's gonna get on your nerves, then I think being brothers just amplifies it that much more. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, we were able to just put it all behind us and go out there and perform, and we played great the year and a half we were together. But then, yeah, just like every partnership, it gets harder and harder as it goes on.
And then Jake Gibb called him. 3-time Olympian called.
Little snake. Little snake in
the grass.
But also not a bad pickup for you. I mean, you both picked up Olympians.
That's true.
And like two legends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun playing with him. And obviously last year didn't really go as planned, but then teamed up with this guy, and it kind of went from as low as I could go in my career to the high as I am right now.
Yeah.
And like basically like losing in fucking qualifiers like last year. 0 for 5 in qualifiers.
Really?
Last year, FIB qualifiers.
Whoa. I didn't realize that.
With 3 different partners. And then somehow
Mayor,
now like
Rosie and
we're main draw. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea how we're.
Yeah, and now we're main draw, top 20 in the world.
The quick turnaround.
And I was definitely not thinking that we were a good partnership. It's like on paper we're the same player. Like I don't think we work with each other's strengths. Neither of us play defense. We're both left-siders, and we're both kind of tweener blockers. But it was gonna be fun. I was like, I don't care about how I do at the end of this year. Hopefully Trevor's dumb enough to pick me up. And then he was.
Yeah.
And then we actually started
shit.
winning eventually. I was like, oh shit. I guess this is a good idea. And I get to travel a little with my friend now. Sweet. This is a bonus.
Yeah, I knew for Manhattan we weren't gonna like obviously win the tournament, and like so it would have been like
when I freaking
it
strained
was,
my rib.
It was definitely like
second match.
Like I probably could have done better that tournament with Mare, having all that time together, but it was like a kind of like a sacrifice to see, and it was like a risk, and I took it and went.
It's working out.
Yeah.
And you did end up actually beating Mayer.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
we played him and
right?
Avery. Yeah, that was a fun match. But John took it well. He's a great guy, and we had a fun match against each other that won, and now he's retired and going to be coaching full time.
Yeah,
which is good for him.
And I've asked try a couple of times, but with you, how's the transition to defense and a whole different side? I mean, you're making a bunch of changes.
Yeah, it's been biggest help's been Jose for sure.
Yeah.
He's kind of a genius when it comes to like every skill in volleyball, and that's kind of the players we are. Is we're all around.
We're all kind
about
of geniuses.
6'5", you know. we're just all geniuses. And we're pretty, yeah.
Oh yeah, Jose.
But he was a similar kind of all around 6'5",
he split
tweener,
block back in the day.
split block.
Yeah.
Really good side out player.
I think there's more value than we even expected. Like I thought
there's
he'd be
way more.
good. I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah.
On his kind of spiel, but now I'm like, oh damn, we like scored here.
Yeah.
He like has been here, but he's been where we're trying to go, and that's really rare with a coach.
Yeah, and the even more positive thing is his energy level. It just keeps it going. There's practices where we're out there and we're just like, you know, going through the motion, you know.
Yeah.
And he like gets on us, you know. And
He's like, he knows how to
let's go. Yeah.
He knows how to fire us up too. Like
Yeah.
He just goes straight to like trash talking us. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna win this drill. He gets up on the box. I'm gonna crush you guys.
I'm gonna make you go home and cry the rest of the day. That's what he says.
And like,
Gosh,
we're
you
not gonna
wish
let
you
him.
never played volleyball in your life.
Yeah. What you guys were doing before, that was Disneyland.
Yeah.
Welcome to my land now.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That's awesome.
I mean, it works. We're
You
not
need
gonna
to
let him just.
You need to keep like a book of like Jose sayings,
Jose
like
quotes.
Jose-isms.
You're right. And we have an assistant coach, Pompilio, as well.
Yeah. Our other Brazilian.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can barely understand him, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, a few little nuggets of gold every once in a while.
And so obviously, I think Rich brings a different dynamic to the table.
We had Rich on the podcast.
Yeah, so how is it as a player kind of being coached by Rich, who like gold medalist libero, so I'm sure that he's probably taught you a thing or two.
Yeah, I mean, he's a genius with volleyball as well. He's been at the top. I love learning from him every day. He fires us up in different ways. He's super smart guy, super
dialogue
intelligent
is
guy.
unreal.
Dialogue, always cracking jokes.
Oh, guys, this joke of the day was, he's really good in there.
He likes to make fun of us more than anything. No, it's great. I think even just today, his Instagram post, he was making fun of my new shades, how I'm next on SpaceX going on Mars. And Jake's the only guy sweating in our group. And, it's just awesome having a guy who's so smart with volleyball and also someone you get along with so well just on the road. And that's what you need, really. It's good team chemistry, good camaraderie for us to go out and perform.
Yeah. And when we had Jake on, I think it was right after Manhattan, maybe he mentioned that you were starting to get a little bit more vocal, being a little bit more of a leader on the team. Is that a tough role for you to step into, being as young as you are, surrounded by a gold medalist coach and a 3-time Olympian?
Yeah, I think it's not the fact that I don't want to be vocal about it. It's that I have a guy who's been there 3 times. How am I going to tell him what to do? I have a guy that's won a gold medal for the indoor team. How am I going to speak over him? But that's something we've really been working on, and they've made it a lot easier on me because of the trust we have, because of the respect we have, and when I do say something, they actually listen. So it makes me want to say stuff more. So yeah, it's been a big focal point of how I'm trying to grow as a player and for our team.
Yeah, it seems like, and I hate it because I know it's such a good teammate kind of thing. Like Jake's such a good teammate. And we had Rich on, and he was talking about that as well, where he's the type of player that likes to have someone tell him what to do, and he's able to be that soldier and just go execute it extremely well. Yeah. Obviously, he can be the leader, but he'd almost prefer for you to tell him what to do, and then he executes.
That's exactly what he says. Just tells Rich, just tell me what to do so I can just go out there and do it.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like when I was on the court with Hayden, I was like, perfect. You wanna do everything, like plan everything, and not have me have a say. Yeah. Perfect. And then I got to a point in my career where I was like, all right, now I have some opinions. How do we do this? And then I switched to Trevor. But no, yeah, Jake, I mean, that's such a valuable thing I think that he has. And he'd be missing out if obviously you've been successful at every level, so he'd be missing out on a lot if you were to be closed-minded just because you're younger than him. Right.
And, I mean, Tri, you mentioned it, that, you and Trev have been really close friends for your whole lives. Was that also an element that almost made you hesitate to be partners? Because, you're going to have, like, some difficult conversations, and there's just, like, if you get on a tough streak, like, that could put a strain on that friendship. Like, was that a factor at all? Or was it just, this is going to be awesome?
I think it would have been. I think I grew enough as a person these last 2 years to be like, all right, difficult conversations aren't that fucking hard. I can figure it out. Yeah. But, like, being able to, like, really enjoy yourself at your job every day, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah. So I'm stoked on that sense. And then I think we just understand how we all kind of learn the game together. So, like, even when they weren't on tour, I was like, trust me, like, these guys are going to be good. They learn the game with me. I know that they know it to the same extent that I do. So when I'm playing with Trevor, I already, even though we've never played together, I know that he knows what I'm talking about, and we could go back and forth on a lot of stuff. He actually knows a little bit more than I thought.
A little more than him.
Not more than me, but more than I thought he knew. He was just hiding it a little bit.
We're now going to take a quick second for a word from our sponsors. And before we do, we just wanted to thank you guys, as always, for listening. You are what keeps the show going on. Now, if you want to do us a huge favor and drop us a review on iTunes or Podbean, we would greatly appreciate it. If not, support our sponsors. They're the ones who also keep the show going, so any support in any way we appreciate. So here's a word from our sponsors on Sandcast. This show has been brought to you by Firefly Recovery. Now, I know that I have done a terrible job with my recovery all season long, which is why I'm a huge fan of Firefly. I always thought recovery, you had to go get a massage, it had to be an hour-long thing, but it doesn't. With Firefly, all you have to do is just strap this thing on to your knee, which is what's been bugging me, and you can strap it on at work, so you can do your recovery while you're getting paid and doing your work. You can strap it on during an airplane, which is exactly what I did on my way to Maryland for New Year's and Christmas. You can bring it on the way back from the plane. You can do it in the car ride. You can recover on the go, doing whatever you want, which is exactly why I love Firefly. It does everything that you would need it to do. It moves the blood flow down there, and you're naturally recovering. You don't need these enormous Normatec boots and be grounded. You can do it on the move, on the go. It's a huge help for me with how much you have to lift and play beach volleyball. I highly recommend Firefly Recovery, so check them out. If you are an athlete, if you are just a weekend warrior looking to get that soreness out of your muscles, Firefly is the way to go. So hit them up at fireflyrecovery.com. Give them a try. I highly recommend it. This podcast is also brought to you by Wilson Volleyball. I know if you've been following beach volleyball players on Instagram lately, there's a lot of complaints about how difficult it is to play with the dreaded Mikasa, which is used on the international tours. But if you're not playing internationally, and if you're not playing P1440, whose season won't be rolling around till late fall anyway, we are back to using the Wilson people, so hallelujah and celebrating that. So if you need a refill on Wilson balls, they are the best balls in the market, and best thing yet, we give you a 20% discount here at Sandcast if you use the discount code WilsonSand. By far the best ball. The college players use it. The AVP uses it. Almost every grassroots tour uses it. The CBVA rocks it. There's a reason that everyone uses Wilson. It's the best ball in the market. Highly recommend you pick up a bag of Wilsons today, especially if you want to use our Wilson code, WilsonSand. So go ahead and get yourself a bag of volleyballs today or any other equipment you might need. This next segment is brought to you by Pacific Coast Wealth Management. We are all excited for the race to Tokyo, the 2020 Olympic Games, and therefore I wanted to give you guys an update brought to you by our friends at Pacific Coast Wealth Management over who the leaders are both in the world and in the country. Number one in the race to Tokyo is Vyacheslav Krasilnikov and Oleg Stoyanovsky of Russia, followed by two more Russian teams, Ilya Lishukov and Konstantin Semenov, and Taras Miskiv and Valery Samode. I butchered those names for sure, but those are your top three international teams in the race for Tokyo. Number one from the U.S. is the split blocking extraordinaires Bourne and Trevor Crabb with 1,160 points. They are currently ranked number 9 in the 2019 standings. The second team from the U.S. currently is Miles Evans and Billy Kolinsky with 1,040 points. And ranked number 3 in the U.S. in the 2019 season is Casey Patterson and Stafford Slick, who are no longer playing together. So expect some changes as the season is coming up. And for now, just enjoy our Pacific Coast Wealth Management update of the race to Tokyo. And now, back to the show.
And with Florida, I know that you guys were doing kind of 2-a-days. Trev, we've learned that you can still barely dunk a basketball too.
Yeah,
I can get up there just
that
enough.
was weak. That was weak.
Just enough. I can get up there, you know.
I got a lot of heat from that. It wasn't even me. They were talking about your brother can't even dunk.
Whoa.
Wow.
See, bud.
See, oh man, I was going at like 50%.
It's tough when we have a guy that was in an NBA slam dunk contest jumping over P. Diddy.
Oh my
in our sport.
You can't be throwing up those dunks when we got C Bud now.
Forgot about that. Wow.
But how was like Florida in general? I mean, I know that it was just kind of. I know you'd rather play Fort Lauderdale, but in terms of like what you guys get out of it, seemed like a pretty good trip.
I mean, I beat Trevor in golf, so there's that. And then free throw contest, also beat Trevor. So thanks for the juices. We got some green juice and there's ginger and turmeric in it, so I really got much healthier for that. So thank you, Trevor.
It's his first time beating me in anything, so I just
Not true.
I'll let him have it with his lucky swings. So.
Not luck if you keep doing it.
Trev's been losing a lot.
I had a rough week out in Florida. Lose three juices. 3 juices, and then
we were betting with Jason Lockhead.
And then we played a set against Phil and Nick, and or a match, and we lost the match. So it was like just almost
he has
lost
a gambling
everything
addiction,
out there.
pretty much. It's pretty like.
Well, I remember at the AVP banquet, like before something would be announced, he'd like lean back and be like, "You want any action?"
I've won some good bets in my life, but I've probably lost more.
For example, the one thing that Trevor did win out in Florida was when the Lakers were down 2 points, and it was
Rajon
a
Rondo
buzzer
for the
beater
win.
with Rondo has the ball in his hand. He can't shoot.
And I called
He's
it.
never made a game-winning shot in
This
his
is
career.
first game winner.
First game winner, and I was like, and I bet obviously that the Lakers were going to lose, and somehow Rondo comes up and
That was the only thing I
drains
won
it.
out there.
It's the only thing you won. I was betting on Rondo making his first friggin' game winner after 15
Every
years.
dog has its day. It's just like your golf game. That's for sure.
Every day. Every day I'm a dog. I did sink one out of the sand trap. That happened.
I feel like we should start putting, when I do previews for AVPs, I should start putting lines down for odds for teams to win.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun.
For once quarterfinals on, then actually start putting lines on each match.
Matza will take those bets for sure.
I used to have lines.
Everyone
need to do
goes
some
to
practice
the
runs.
Sandcast site and checks the lines before.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be
He
sick.
does. He does do.
Yeah.
We can
what
do
is
that.
it? Oh no, you do
You
power
gotta do that.
rankings.
Dude,
Yeah,
don't
do
do
power
power
rankings.
rankings anymore. Just do line.
People love
the
power
lines.
rankings. I can do them both.
Okay, do them both. Yeah. I didn't know you could do them both.
Damn, I didn't know you were balling like that.
I didn't know you. Yeah, the odds would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be scary for Trev.
Oh yeah, I don't think I want that on my
Yeah,
team.
come on, dude.
My teammate.
Extra pressure.
Yeah, he's already betting with people for the season.
Yeah.
Oh
Sure.
gosh,
With
this guy.
with all three of you guys, Olympics are obviously the goal, but that's so far away that how do you kind of balance that long-term goal with the short-term vision too? Because it's not like, you know, you could just ignore, like, you're finishing a 4-star and be like, well, we're really just shooting 2 years ahead.
Yeah, and from experience, you really got to stay present in it. It's like such a long process, and as much as our sport weighs on Olympics, you want that label. That's everyone's dream. It's like, it's literally one tournament of your whole career, and if you get caught up in 2 years of that certain event, like putting pressure on every other event, then you're just kind of wasting your time away. You know, you really got to stay present and like want each individual tournament as a victory, and enjoy that, and not be like, yes, we got a few points, or like, oh, that was a good finish, but we're not done yet. We have to qualify.
Yeah.
Like, no, you just had a great finish on the world tour. Like, enjoy that. Be there. If at the end of the process, you're going to look at it and then strategically pick times when you want to peak and whatnot, but like, just stay present and don't make it a 2-year thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, with you guys, this is the first time you've gone into a quad knowing you're pushing for the Olympics. And I don't know if, like, you and Hayden were necessarily planning on it, but midway through, you're like,
we started doing well, and we're like, well, we're in the 2 spot right now, so we might as well go for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But does it change the approach or the way you look at a season?
Just what Tri said, you got to stay present. Just, you know, something I took away from last year's, we had just mediocre finishes, like a couple 9ths and 2 17ths, and then we actually dropped to the qualifier after we made the semis in Stade, but the next tournament we were in the qualifier in Vienna. So we had to battle back there, and it was like, from coming from a top 15, 20 team and then dropping down, you feel more pressure on there. You're like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
you know, are we a good team together? But then, you know, it's why it's nice to have, you know, friends as your teammates. Or, you know, Jake's such a good friend, such a good partner. Rich is such a good friend, that you're able to stick together and focus on the next tournament, and you know, forget about the last one and focus and be in the present.
Yeah. How strange was it? Because I know with, like, the FIVB point system operates a little different than AVP, where you're finished in the previous tournament. Those points, they don't go into, like, Vienna, like you said. How strange was it to be semis in Stade with a swing to be in the finals too, and then you're in the qualifier? Like, that's a crazy
it's
switch.
really weird, because once in the qualifier you start a day before. That's 2 extra matches that you don't need.
Yeah.
When you're on I think it was a 4-week trip for us. We're like, there's like 2 extra matches the day before the tournament starts now. But I mean, it was difficult mentally. It was very difficult. But we were able to pull together and have a couple of good finishes after that.
Yeah.
Did we, Hayden and I, when we won our first FIVB, we were in the qualifier the next few days. Within a few days,
nuts.
like in 4 days later, back in the quali.
Yeah.
But we had won the previous event.
It's crazy.
And that happens a lot. Like, it's happened a lot over the years. That's how deep, like, the World Tour is.
Yeah.
It's not like the same top 10 teams every time.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Because, like, halfway through the year last year, Anders and Christian were in the qualifiers too.
Were they?
Yeah. It was
Jeez.
great. And
That happened quick.
going to 3 sets too, like being pushed in the qualifier. And then, ended up, you know, having one of the best runs in the history of international beach volleyball.
Probably. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why seeding doesn't really matter. Like,
No, World Tours.
Even if you think, like, you know, I'm playing a qualifier team, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like,
There's some serious, like, landmines in the qualifiers. It's more about matchups. Like, oh, we match up well against this great team. Not like, oh, we're going to smash this team because they suck.
Yeah.
I mean, best teams from every country, so. And each country can have up to, like, 4 teams. So, like, you're playing Brazil's qualifier team, you could be playing a top 10 team in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty gnarly.
Which I think all of them, or almost all of them are, when they qualify, they move up to the top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not.
They just had a shakeup too. I think Evandro scooped up Bruno.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and Pedro is with Vitor Felipe.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so it'll be, I don't know, I feel like it'll be fun to watch Bruno with like one of the best players in the world. Again, not that Pedro wasn't, but Evandro is like anyone he plays with, he's won with.
Yeah,
recently.
he's kind of like one of those freaks, you know.
Who?
He's not that
Evandro.
fundamental as a blocker. Like you can't really compare him to Alisson in terms of blocking, but his serve.
Serving wins matches.
Yeah, his does. Yeah, it's really gnarly. You have to think defense. I feel like instead of how you have like a different stance and whatever mentality. Serve receivers defense. When Evandro's serving, you're playing defense.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, yeah.
Is there like one player in the world? Because when we talked to Brower and Musin, both of them mentioned that they had never beaten Evandro. And they made a point of mentioning that, yeah. And then they smashed him in the finals in Huntington, like a couple days later.
Yeah.
Is there like one player in the
Good
world
Luck
for?
podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have 3 Olympians here in 2020 just because of the podcast.
We're gonna have a parade in Hawaii.
That's true.
I guess we gotta actually do something there.
Yeah.
I don't think just making it gets the parade.
But is there like one player or team that you guys look at aside from Anders and Christian maybe, but that you just look at like that's the guy that I want to beat?
Jake, Taylor,
For me,
Nick.
it's Phil. For me, it's still Phil. I think he's still the best.
From all those Manhattans.
I think he's still the best player in the world, and he's the guy to beat. Like every time you go up against him,
Yeah.
That's just for me, my opinion. But obviously, if I had to pick, for FIVB or a foreign team, I'd pick probably the Dutchies or Nikolai and Lupo. Right
Yeah.
Just because they're a couple of those strong top teams.
Yeah. Nikolai and Lupo didn't play a whole lot
No,
last year. They were kind of
injury.
MIA.
I think Dutchies are the only team I haven't beaten on tour. It was Spain and them before.
Because they're obviously
Thanks
just
to Trevor, we beat Spain.
Spain, yeah. But Dutchies are obviously like another couple freak athletes, that are big guys. And obviously Christian and Anders are on the big rise right now. So anytime you go up against them, it's pretty big time if you can take them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anyone for you?
Yeah, Nikolai and Lupo, I love playing them. I played them kind of a bunch now. It's always been a battle against them. Just they're such a unique team with Nikolai being that monster and then Lupo just being a little crafty guy that he is.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say like little crafty guy. Like he's 6'5".
Yes.
He's a big little crafty
That's
guy.
true. He's like 6'4" probably.
Jeez.
But
He needs better posture.
it's those are the games or the teams that I like as a defender's just trying to figure out a guy, just always keeping me on my toes, making me frustrated at times, like how the hell is he seeing me?
Yeah.
Right.
That's always fun. And then obviously Anders and Christian, our game with them and Stad was probably my favorite.
Epic.
My favorite match of all time. It was just the crowd there, the energy, and then how close it was, just back and forth the whole time.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play those two teams again.
Yeah. And you played them back to back the same day, right? You played Anders and
Nikolai
Christian
Lupo.
and Nikolai and Lupo, right?
Or
was
just
one-
once in the semis.
Okay.
Nikolai and Lupo, we played in pool play and beat them. Then we lost to them for the bronze medal match.
Okay.
In 3. I think both matches went to 3. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I loved it. And Nikolai set the record on me with fastest serve in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
118
Oh, jeez.
kilometers.
What?
Did you pass it?
Did you pass
Holy
it?
cow.
Oh no, it's 30 rows up in the stands.
No, I know. I saw the video.
Wait, he served it straight. He just sailed it, or no?
No.
He aced you.
Yeah, I mean, it was straight
He
at
shanked-
me.
Oh, got it.
I couldn't move or do anything. It just
Yeah.
hit my arms and went
Oh,
15
got it.
rows in the
I
stands.
thought you meant he just freaking rocketed it.
Oh,
But
And
he got
just
the
sailed
record.
oh no.
What? You don't get it if you miss the serve.
That's what I was thinking.
What?
It's gotta be in.
It's gotta be in, guy.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
The ones where they're coming right at you, but you're like, oh, I don't know where to. Yeah. Those are gnarly.
I feel like everybody would have just assumed Evandro would have had the hardest. I think Nikolai kind of like flies under the radar because like he's such a good setter too.
It doesn't go as fast because he hits it. I feel from like a higher point
and he
going
can
down
consistently
more.
hit sideline.
So he doesn't need as much
middle
speed on it. I feel.
Yeah.
Nikolai has more power on his serve.
Dude, I
and
think
less like Evandro puts a lot of spin on it.
Yeah.
Like true spin, so he can really carve it.
Yeah.
I think people forget about how gnarly Phil's serve used to be.
Yeah.
Like when I first came on tour, he was still jump serving all the time, and he would hit sidelines like even this is why Evandro's gnarly too because he's hitting from such a high point. But you'd be like he's ripping jump serves and you're diving forward.
In front of you.
Yeah, it's in front of you. Usually it's like at your sideline.
Yeah.
But now you're having to like dive forward for like a really hard serve. That's the serves that Phil would do. And then Evandro's doing that now basically out of the middle and then just going towards the sideline. I don't think it's as radical angles as Phil was hitting. And then he'll go deep middle, which is just like the hardest two balls to hit. But yeah, no, they're pretty gnarly.
Is there? I mean, you mentioned that serving wins matches out there. Is there like what are the biggest things you picked up from playing the World Tour the last couple of years that you were trying to implement in your game?
Definitely tough serving, and I think like transition setting and attacking, like putting up perfect sets for your partner to go hit, not just in system. It's those kind of weird plays, those bang bang plays where the other, all the best teams in the world can put up a perfect set in any situation.
Yeah.
Which allows them to, win points that maybe they shouldn't have won.
Yeah. And then Trev, what about you? What are you? Well, obviously you got a whole new learning defense, a whole new side.
Yeah, the defense is
everything's different.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, it was. But I mean, just like how we were talking about earlier, being a all-around volleyball player, good volleyball player is probably, I think, the most key to being a top beach player. So to know defense, right side, left side, everything.
Yeah.
Is really important. I feel, and that can separate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you can side out from either side of the court, you can, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Side out.
Have you two, like, is one of you sort of the default blocker in any way, or is it just like, we're talking like a true, like, say, Trevor, like, you got really hot against the Germans, for example,
We both had hot matches, but in those matches, like, we talked about it for a second, and we never did it.
I think we're both a little too confident. Like, you're blocking well, like, yeah, but I'll go block.
Yeah.
Anything you can do,
like,
I can do better.
Yeah, you're blocking well now, but I can do that.
Yeah.
We literally, I think we tried it, like, once.
Yeah.
And we just, like...
And you missed your serve.
Because I wasn't used to, like, running up anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is awkward now.
This one time.
I, like, forgot how to do it. But we probably should, realistically.
Yeah, I think we did it in
guy's
practice the
doing
other day for, like, the first time ever.
Yeah, we've been practicing a little bit.
When you were stuffing Casey Patterson off the court at USA practice. Wow.
Forgot about that.
That was a beat. That was, yeah.
This Trev stoops down to make sure the mic catches all of that.
Oh, yeah. Nice shout out.
And so, you three obviously are going for the Olympics. What about the indoor team? What of the Hawaiian crew is trying to make a run on the indoor
I think
team?
the same three guys.
So it's what, Micah Christensen and the Shojis?
Yeah, and the Sojis.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll
Do
be
you guys
alright.
ever think, like, how absurd it is what your childhood group of friends is doing?
Yeah.
It is pretty nuts. And to think we all come from, like, the exact same courts and, like place that we learned how to play. It wasn't like... It's crazy enough if we all came from Oahu or from Honolulu, but we all came from Outrigger.
Yeah.
Like this small little just beach club in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And if you learn the history of Outrigger, like, you'll see, like, first of all, the sport was invented there back in the Duke Kahanamoku days. But, like, everyone's parents, besides mine, my parents are just athletes who, paddle at the club and stuff. But everyone else's parents, like, their dad is, like, very high IQ volleyball players who, everyone, right? Like the Shoji's dad is like a god, volleyball god out there, who learned how to play volleyball and grew up with your dad, I'm pretty sure, right? Spencer McLaughlin's dad, like these are all our coaches growing up. Mark Hain, and they're like some of the best volleyball players in the world, and especially beach because they grew up at these courts.
Clay Stanley.
Clay Stanley's dad.
But
John Stanley.
Yeah, I think our generation though has been, I'm not gonna say like the best, but more, we have both beach and indoor.
Yeah.
Our generation. The older generation, like Kevin Wong guys, it was just Clay, that was on the indoor team.
Yeah.
They had more of the beach guys. But
Clay was kind of a tweener too. I feel like because he was younger than the Wongers. Right?
But now we don't just.
Not to call out them.
Yeah, now we have 3 guys on the indoor team.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. Yeah. And Clay was the last guy, and he was one of the best, if not the best, indoor players to come out of Hawaii. But yeah, I think it's so cool. Our generation has the beach group and then the indoor group going for the Olympics and being the top. Trying to be the top guys in the world.
Yeah, and the beach group's really only just getting started. I know indoor careers generally don't last like as long. Like would Micah or the Shojis, like would that be an interest of them to come out to the beach?
Yeah, I've talked to Kavika about it. And
we've talked about having a little showdown.
Oh yeah, we still have to have our showdown. Me and Kavika versus Taylor and Micah.
Ooh.
A little beach indoor.
Micah Ma?
No, Micah Christensen.
Micah Christensen.
And I'm broadcasting it.
Yeah. Micah Ma is calling lines. Nah, he's coming out with an album drop right now. He's album dropping, Micah.
Micah Ma is in the studio.
Right? He's gonna DJ it. I'll be in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, Kavika I think wants to come out eventually, and
I guarantee Michael will come out after he's done. He's just doing too well.
Yeah, he's doing.
They're all kind of just doing too well.
And Eric's more of the indoor guy.
Yeah,
he would be great at beach. Like nobody has as good vision or reading ability as Eric. But
yeah, he just eats too many donuts.
too many red vines.
He's a little soft.
Too many red vines to eat.
And physically, he's not jumping all that high.
Yeah.
Hitting all that hard these days.
Yeah.
But he's the best passer in the
world. He's probably the best volleyball player in terms of his mind.
Yeah.
Out of the whole group, Eric.
Yeah.
So I remember when I sent the initial rough draft of the book to the editor, and she came across the Hawaiian chapter. She's like, "Do they understand how this just isn't normal that a group of friends can do this?" Because then you have Madison and Riley, and Brad Lawson and Spencer McLaughlin, all of whom were crazy successful in their careers too.
Yeah, Spencer's coaching Micah Ma now.
At UCLA. Yeah, he just made the move from Berkeley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. There's just a very rich volleyball. If you learn, I remember going to JOs when we were younger, and going up to the mainland and just automatically feeling we're better at volleyball than everyone, pretty much, right? That was the top Cali team. I mean, we're still we're cocky little shits, for sure. But that was the real feeling. You see other players playing, and we learned it a certain way. We learned a very ball control oriented style from me.
All of our coaches just focused on ball control.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got taught blocking, hitting.
Yeah,
they just didn't. That's not a thing. You don't have to practice that.
Yeah.
We just do that because that's what everyone loves to do. We only learned passing and
defense.
setting, yeah. All the fundamentals.
Coaches just ripping at us.
Yeah.
Well, and we would just play more too.
Yeah.
That was the thing, having our area.
Not just on our own, but even in practices. I remember just playing actual games and live play stuff in practices, and not doing a lot of those just small, little drills.
Right.
Just playing as a kid is, I think, the most important.
Yeah,
for sure.
And good to get the touches when you were so young too, because that muscle memory, there's just no way that you guys are gonna forget that at this point.
Plus, we grew up around the university, right? Us going to the women's and men's University of Hawaii matches was every weekend, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we're watching really high level volleyball from a really young age.
Yeah.
And then eventually, we're in high school, and the UH players they want to play beach sometimes, and we're like the Groms around, so we're end up playing against them in opens, and then like the Steins and Kevin and some of those guys are coming back just to play for fun. Yeah. So we're like getting to play against them a little bit, against the UH players, and we're still like in high school. So it's a pretty good spot to be from.
Yeah,
we're
sure.
lucky enough, like when I was in high school, that our coach always got the UH guys to come in and play against us, like, or the ex-players like Tony Chang would come in and
Tony was like the god for all
Sean Carney would come in.
Tony Chang was the one guy where like everyone's scared of and just like, holy crap.
just
I mean, I don't know how much around here you get college guys going to the high school to scrimmage against them, but we got it at our club practices, we got it at our high school practices,
and played beach against
beach against them
a lot.
That's awesome. And you played it every now and then against like Wong and Stein and them too when they came back, right?
Yeah.
They'd come in and hop in the 4-man games or the junior senior tournaments.
Yeah. Now you got the dyno coming up.
Yeah. That's why I think it's important too to go back and play in those tournaments, even though I'm the worst at it. I'm the one that doesn't go back and play because this is all serious, trying to stay healthy and whatnot. But it's super important for us to like give back to the next generation because we were fortunate enough to have all these people helping us. So just to show up and play, like Taylor plays and everything, which is great. Trevor, you set?
I started. I set.
He's getting a little bit of my vibe.
Yeah, I've been getting some of the try vibes.
Be careful. But I did play in this last one. I had to make myself play.
barbecue.
Yeah, and I lost right away. It was bad.
We should just hold like almost
good.
like a mini open or something the week after the AVP Hawaii, because it's like after the season or the weekend after.
And we're
the
all
season.
still in good shape.
Yeah, and we're still in good shape,
so we don't
can
embarrass ourselves against the high school kids.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be a fun one.
Or even if it's a 4-man, and then the McKibbins might maybe get invited, but.
Well, they got put on the same team last time, and they won it. Oh no, Madison played this time. Did Riley play?
No, Riley
this
wasn't
last
there.
time.
Dude, we could almost have like a 4-man, like everyone can stay for the next week if they want, and put together your own 4-man team and run that.
No, we got to do bidding.
Tournament and bidding, like the daddy.
Yeah, like the daddy.
And get all the AVP players to stay for like another week.
There's one tournament in Hawaii at Outrigger called the Daddy Hain 4-man, and that's kind of always been the biggest Outrigger event, right, of the year. Yeah. Pretty much the biggest event, period. It's like the one you want to win because you get your name on a plaque on the wall.
Yeah,
it's pretty legendary. I forget where I was going with that, but that's a thing.
So now you're gonna make the equivalent of the Daddy Hain.
That's a thing.
Yeah. Well, and like so the night before, everyone goes to the Hain's house, and it's a big barbecue, and they bid on teams. Their mom always buys a team, right?
Always buys my dad's team.
Oh, buys your dad's team.
No matter what, no matter who's on the team, she'll buy my dad's team.
Which is a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
Because that guy's ridiculous.
He's up there quite a bit.
How old is he? Nobody even knows.
Nobody even knows.
Silver Fox. And he's just like always in the right spot. Like looks like he's moving in slow motion, but like somehow is scooping every ball in the court. How is this even working? He's beating us without moving.
Scooping. Micah Mall is just
knows
bombing.
Exactly where you're gonna hit it.
Like guys are teeing off at a world class level, and he's just standing in there not flinching.
Yeah,
just scooping at one hand.
75 years old.
No, he'll say "ow."
Ow.
When he digs the ball and it hits him, "Ow!"
I just scooped you. You hurt me, but I still dug you. Right?
That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, we should make the Sandcast 4-man in Hawaii.
There we go.
After the tournament.
You're making your first trip out there, I hear?
Yeah, I'm heading there. Not this Friday, but next one. Yeah.
I'm gonna hook you up with Sim Boogie.
Let's go.
What are you doing out there?
Covering it's like Hawaii holds like kind of like the season opening tournament for college, sort of. So I'm gonna go cover that. Figured it was a good excuse to go to Hawaii.
Wait, which tournament? Volleyball? Or?
It's like beach volleyball. The college girl. It's like the Duke.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna try the last name Outrigger Classic.
The Duke. I don't even know.
That's the one.
Oh, okay. So you're going out there, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta. he's either got to go on the We Go Island Canoe tour, WeGoIslandCanoe.com. Little plug for Sim Boogie, the legend, or go paddle out with Mr. Crabb. Old man Crabby will take you in the 4-man.
Yeah.
Might flip you on purpose.
Yeah.
Just to see if you can swim.
I briefly met him when he was coaching you guys in Chicago. He's a man of few words.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like him punishing you guys is him just like giving you the head nod, like,
Yeah, for sure.
oh god, my dad's pissed.
Shaking his
He
head.
just chewed me out just with a little head nod.
Yeah.
That's about it. Oh, easy, Bentley.
Oh, Bentley's goners.
Bentley's just been hanging on the lap the whole time. Was there anything else that you Hawaiians wanted to bring up on the Hawaiian cast?
I don't know. We should do this more often.
We should. Just get a couple Coronas. Just hang out and talk volley.
Kona Brews next time.
Yeah.
Or Corner Reds.
Kona Reds. I can make that happen. No, I think
All three of you have been on the podcast, so our final question, I don't know who to direct it to at this point.
Bentley.
Bentley, if you had to give one piece of advice to an up-and-coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be?
Oof. Whoever comes up with one, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to say
Move to
the
Hawaii.
same one I
Yeah.
To the
told
outrigger.
last time.
Well, what is it? We can use a recap.
I don't know what I said.
Oh, just go ahead and. You're trying to get an extra downloads. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying
Let's
to
go back to my
move up the
episode.
downloads. Yeah. Well, you're gonna want to.
Taylor is our number one most listened to show.
Yeah. So people, let's change that. Go back to the first episode.
Which one am I?
Trev, you're like number 5.
Go back to the 5th episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Try, you're in the
number 5 on
top
the list.
5. So now that we've combined all three of you, I'm hoping that we can
No, I was the
springboard
5th.
in their number 1.
Oh, you were the
fifth
fifth episode
Sandcast.
ever?
Yeah.
Talking shit with Trevor Crabb.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's the 5th.
Right. I mean, besides just getting lucky and growing up at like a volleyball hotspot, I think your best bet is to obviously play a lot, like all of our guests say. But go for it.
Honestly, yeah. What you two talked about a lot was being an all-around player, not just learning certain skills.
Mm-hmm.
That goes for all the indoor people, even if you're an outside middle setter, whatever. Learn all the skills, not just your position skills.
Mm-hmm. And don't let coaches dictate that. You know,
Right.
obviously you have to be respectful of coaches, and they're
Yeah.
going to do what's best for your specific team at that time. But ask them to at least give you reps in other places. You know, because if you want to be a volleyball player for a long time, you're going to go through different phases, and you're going to have to do every other skill. And if you want to play beach, then you have to do every skill.
Right.
And you don't want to have to be playing catch up. So yeah, absolutely play it. And one of the biggest things for me, honestly, when I played club outrigger with that group of guys, we had so many good pin hitters that I had to play middle, and that for sure gave me the confidence to be a good blocker. Like I specifically remember blocking in the middle, and then transferring that to the beach, and like just being like, whoa, I love blocking, and it came from me being a middle blocker. Luckily, because Trevor was...
Me and Brad had
Trevor
to play
only wanted
to outside because we were a little better than Tri. So that's why they threw. That's why Dave Soji threw in the middle.
No. The truth is, there's no good
We're like,
middles.
Tri, we don't know where to play you now. Oh, why don't you just go in the middle with Tim Harrison?
Wow, name dropping.
I
I played outside in high school, though, so I got my
was
reps.
just like every other kid. I wanted to be an outside hitter, but luckily I was fortunate enough when I was growing up. My uncle Tony was our coach, and he made me be a setter, even though I did not want to be. And he said, "Yeah, you're the best player on our team. You might as well touch the ball every play," which made sense, even though I did not want to be. I wanted to be the guy that hit the ball, like every other kid. But fortunately, that made me a better all-around player. That said, I didn't grow up just an outside hitter.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
So why do you said chowder now? New England clam chowder. It's just chowdery, CJ, my guy. It's just so chowdery.
You know, it's funny, like when you're talking about it, you're like, oh yeah, my Uncle Tony taught, he was their coach. Their Uncle Tony was the assistant coach on one of the U.S. national Olympic teams.
84, I think.
84. That's like Karsh Karai and them gold medal, right? That's, just my uncle. Just,
And he was our 12 and under club coach.
And now he's coaching my other cousins who are 12
and way
in
better
full-on
than you guys.
Olympic practices.
That's so awesome.
We got 5 assistant coaches,
There's some days,
which are all our family.
yeah, it's all crabs.
All our cousins.
Oh yeah, the parents that want to go complain about their kids not getting playing time have no chance.
Yeah.
Which coach are you gonna talk to?
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, I think we had a nice little like round table
Yeah,
piece of advice
Well,
there. That was solid.
we all gave some good advice except Trevor.
He just called my hands clam chowder, but whatever.
So chowdery. That's just chowder.
Well, good luck to all three
CJ.
this season.
Don't mind Trevor. This one beer is really kicking.
Yeah, guys. I'm a lightweight now.